right above that, we just want to show the thickness of that eyebrow area. So this line's coming around right here. And we're going to draw the same thing over here. Okay, so that's the outer eye shape. I do want to point out something. If you ever want to draw a stitch in the future, you will see that the corner or the bottom of the face here is really close to the smile, and the smile is really close to that outer eye shape. So you want to keep all this really tight and compressed when you draw a stitch. That was the hardest thing for me to get used to when I started to draw him. Okay, now the eye shape is going to be pretty much the same as the outer eye shape, but smaller, of course. Kind of like a guitar pick or a very round almond. Now, Lilo and Stitch is very interesting for us in this building because it was actually made here in this building. Was anyone here when the production studio was here? Anybody? Okay, a few people. You guys remember watching the artist draw? That was really cool, wasn't it? Yeah. Now, 3 of the animated features were made completely here in this building. Mulan, Lilo and Stitch, and Brother Bear. That's why we have a character from Mulan in our original show. But the production had to move back out to California in 2004. All right, let's go ahead and add a little highlight. And right here. And then we're going to shade in around that highlight, just the eye part. And you can turn your pencil flat against the paper if you want. Just going to do a nice quick shade on that. And wherever it is around that highlight, you can make that part a little bit darker. It's a little bit darker on the top of the eye, and it gets lighter. That looks kind of cool. I don't know why, but it just does. Now, if you had a chance to go over into our original or our theater show at the beginning of the attraction, you might remember, or if you go in, there's a guy that comes up on the screen. His name is Chris Sanders, and he was the creator of Stitch, the blonde hair and the black shirt. And he's also the voice of Stitch. Now, Stitch is an alien, so he does need some help with his voice. Chris did that. Now, if you happen to see recently that movie How to Train Your Dragon, you might recognize that the main dragon, Toothless was his name, right? Was Toothless? Yeah. He looked a little bit like Stitch. That's because Chris worked on him. He drew him, and it's not a cool. I mean, that's just how Chris likes to draw. So that's just his natural way of drawing. So it wasn't intentional. They looked similar to Stitch. That's just how it turned out. So if you see that movie, check that out. Okay, now we're going to work on the fur. He does have some alien fur. All right. Just going to draw a few cute little pieces of fur. Maybe one sticking up, one going over, a little one down here. Yeah, it's right up here on the top. If you've ever drawn Donald, I like to draw his feathers basically the exact same way. And we'll make the sides of that a little bit darker. Alright, does anyone have any questions before we move on to the ears? Okay, alright, you guys doing a good job. Alright, now we already have the basic shape of the ears. Kind of get that part out of the way. We're going to start putting in the detail work, and it's going to be a little bit different than this shape, but that's going to help us. Okay, first thing we're going to do, we're going to make a little mark right here. We want to make sure that the bottom of the ear is going to start where the smile is, or maybe a little bit above it, not below that smile. Okay, so just make that mark. Make a mark right here. Now, if you have a lot of lines and you really want to erase some, when you get home and you find an eraser, just erase those extra lines. It's not a big deal. We're just doing a rough sketch, okay? All right, now we're going to draw. And if you want to at any time, if you're at a desk and you're having trouble reaching, you can take your paper off the pegs and turn it. Sometimes it does help. We are drawing a lot of big curved shapes right now. Okay, so this is going to be like a funny looking S curve. And we're going to repeat that step on the other side. Of course, it will be opposite. And we want to make sure that the ear is connecting very, very securely. So we're going to have a curved line right here. Very similar to a lot of different types of animal ears. Rabbit ear, things like that. And same thing over here. Right there. Okay, now he has these little cutouts in his ears. Who knows what happened here, but he's been through a lot of crazy stuff. So little cutout right up there, and little one down here. And we want to draw that in first, and then we can draw around that. This is mainly for the darker lines. Okay, so the very top of the ears, it will be like a rounded point, very similar to the rounded point down here at the eyes. So we're repeating the, I call it the visual theme of the character. So nothing's, I mean, all seems to just work together. Then we're going to bring that down to that little mark that we made. Let me bring this down. I've got one ear a lot bigger than the other. Okay. That's better. Okay, so we're going to draw on around that little cutout area. Okay, now we've got two more lines per stitch. Little curved line right here, and little curved line right here, right here, and right here. Now our most important step is coming up. What do you think that is? Yeah.
His paws?
Well, that's good. We don't have time for his paws. We're going to sign our name. Okay, we're going to sign our name. Now, if you guys do want to see a little bit more of Stitch's body and his paws and things, there's a yellow poster on your left, and you can take a look at some of Stitch's features. And he has some how to draw books that you can look at. He might be in the gallery store. They have a big how to draw book. It might be in there, so check him out. But he has a lot of fun to draw. All right, did y'all have fun? You did a great job up front. Really proud of y'all. All right, now you're welcome to come back around. We do run every half hour. I'm not sure who we're drawing in this class. It will be in here, so it'll be one of the other 6, either the Fab 5 or Dopey. I'm not sure yet. So